John Harbaugh has been at the heart of the Baltimore Ravens organization for nearly 2 decades. Through triumphs, playoff heartbreaks, and everything in between, he's been the face of consistency for a franchise that has prided itself on stability. But right now, there's a storm brewing in Baltimore, and it's centered squarely around Harbaugh. The fan base is torn. The front office is quiet. And 2 former Ravens have spoken out in ways that make it impossible to ignore what's happening anymore. Let's be clear. This isn't just some minor frustration or a cold streak in October. This feels different. This feels like a crossroads for an entire era of Ravens football. Baltimore sits at 1 win and 5 losses after the bye, and the frustration is boiling over. You can feel it in the tone of post-game interviews. You can hear it in the size of the fans. You can read it in the comments across every Ravens thread. And now, former players, guys who suited up under Harbaugh, who lived in his system, are questioning whether his time has run its course. Chris Canty didn't hold back. On air, he pointed out what a lot of Ravens fans have been whispering for years. That Super Bowl in 2012? It's a long time ago. A lot has changed. The NFL has evolved, the athletes have changed, and the league doesn't wait around for anyone. He said, I don't know why we want to assign that Super Bowl to John Harbaugh anymore. And you know what? As harsh as that might sound to some ears, he's not wrong to question it. That championship was 13 seasons ago. Since then, Baltimore has just 3 playoff wins. For a team that once prided itself on dominance, that's not the standard. That's not the expectation. And it's definitely not the legacy that Harbaugh himself helped build. But here's the thing. Kenny wasn't calling for a pitchfork mob. He made it clear. He respects Harbaugh. He called him a fantastic coach. But he also knows how the NFL works. Messages grow stale. Voices get drowned out. Even the best coaches can run out of time. That's just how this business goes. And if we're being real, this might be the moment where Baltimore has to decide, are they riding this thing out just because of loyalty, or are they chasing another championship before Lamar Jackson turns 30? Because that's the clock that's ticking here. It's not just about John Harbaugh's record. It's about Lamar's prime. This franchise spent years looking for a franchise quarterback after Joe Flacco. They found one in Lamar. They built a new offense. They changed the identity of the team. And yet here we are, still falling short in January, and now even struggling in October. That's what makes this conversation so urgent. And it's not just Canty. Eric Weddle, another respected former Raven, pointed the finger at coaching too. He didn't call Harbaugh out directly, but he did point out that situational football has been a disaster at times for this team. Red zone calls, goal line decisions, clock management. It's all connected. And while Harbaugh isn't calling every play, Weddle said it plain. The head coach either coaches it or allows it. It always comes back to the top. This isn't a Harbaugh hate campaign. It's just reality. Sometimes, organizations have to make painful decisions not because someone's doing a bad job, but because they're no longer the right fit. That was the case with Greg Roman. He helped revolutionize the offense for Lamar early on. He helped unleash one of the most dominant run attacks in NFL history. But eventually, things went stale. The offense stopped evolving. Defenses caught up. The change had to come. And it did. Maybe a year too late, but it came. That same conversation is now creeping toward the head coach's chair. And the loyalty, that's a big part of the equation too. The Ravens are loyal to a fault. Always have been. From Billick to Flacco, to Ozzie, to Roman. They give their guys every possible chance. And Harbaugh has been the ultimate symbol of that. Through quarterback changes, coordinator overhauls, and roster shifts, he's been the one constant. But even that kind of stability can become a liability when it starts holding back progress. If you talk to people around the league, the whispers are all the same. Harbaugh's not getting fired this season. Even if the Ravens somehow stumbled to 2 wins, he'd likely be back next year. That's how much respect the organization has for him. And you better believe if Baltimore ever lets him go, there'd be 5 other teams calling before he could even clean out his office. That's not in question. The question is whether the Ravens, right now, need more than just a solid leader. Do they need a new message? A new vision? Someone who can maximize this Super Bowl window while it's still open? That's the part that's hitting hardest for fans. Because this isn't just about winning games. It's about not wasting what you have in Lamar. This is year 7. It won't be long before the narrative shifts from "there's still time" to "how did they not get it done?" And when you look back on this stretch, back to that playoff meltdown against the Titans, the injuries, The missed opportunities, the red zone failures, the wasted timeouts. It all starts to blur together. It's no longer about one bad play call or one missed tackle. It becomes a pattern. And patterns are what front offices look at when deciding whether to make a change. Harbaugh defenders will say, he's dealt with too many injuries. Give him a healthy team. And yes, injuries have played a role. But guess what? They've played a role for almost every contender. The Ravens aren't alone in that. And if every year becomes what could have been if everyone stayed healthy, that's a problem in itself. That's a failure to adapt. That's a failure to evolve. It's also worth noting that Harbaugh is known for his loyalty to his staff. That's why you're seeing Zach or still calling the defense, even though it's clear this unit isn't anywhere near where it was under Mike McDonald, or is learning on the job. But in a season where the margin for error is razor thin, Baltimore doesn't have time for learning curves. They need results. And Harbaugh sticking by, or, just like he did with Roman for too long, is only adding fuel to the fire. The truth is, the Ravens need to look themselves in the mirror and ask, what is the actual expectation here? Is it to be competitive? Or is it to win championships? Because the longer you sit in the middle, the harder it becomes to take that final step. Just ask the Chargers. Just ask the Cowboys. Hanging around without real progress is a trap. You think you're close, but you never actually get there. And if you're going to change, now is the time. Because if you wait another year, Lamar is a year older. The roster gets more expensive. The draft picks have to hit perfectly. You can't afford to wait until the wheels fall off. And maybe that's where this fan base is at now. They've seen enough. They're tired of close. They're tired of next year. And they're wondering if the guy who's been at the top all this time is still the one who can lead them to the finish line. The Bears game coming out of the bye? It's not just a get-right opportunity. It might be a defining moment for the entire season. Because if this team can't come out of the bye week and beat a struggling Bears squad, then what are we even doing here? There's no more excuses. Lamar will be back. Most of the key players are expected to return. This is it. The season starts now. And for John Harbaugh, it might be the start of the final chapter. Or it might be the spark that brings this thing back to life. Either way, everyone is watching. The criticisms aren't just coming from fans or media talking heads. When former players like Eric Weddle step up and point the finger at coaching decisions, especially on national platforms, it carries weight. These are guys who've been in the locker room. They know how the operations run behind the scenes. Weddle brought up specific sequences, like the failure inside the red zone during the Rams game, and questioned why decisions that seem so obvious to everyone else, like giving Derrick Henry the ball inside the 5, aren't being made. That's not random frustration. That's insight. That's a guy who's played championship football and understands how thin the margin is between winning and wasting a season. And this isn't just one moment. These confusing, overly complicated decisions have become a pattern. Whether it's wasting timeouts early in quarters, burning through challenges, or getting cute with play calls in crucial situations, the Ravens consistently find ways to shoot themselves in the foot. The biggest issue isn't even the mistake itself. It's the feeling that the same mistakes keep happening and no one at the top is stepping in to stop them. Todd Monken has taken accountability, and that's been a rare bright spot. He owns his mistakes. He doesn't deflect. When asked about that now infamous series of goal line play calls, he straight up admitted he regretted it. Said he second-guessed the decisions and should have done things differently. That kind of transparency is refreshing, but at the same time, fans are tired of needing apologies. They want results. They want touchdowns, not explanations. You know what this whole thing feels like? Deja vu. We've seen this movie before. It was Greg Roman for years. Great regular season production, dynamic run game. But when it came time to adapt in the playoffs, the offense fell flat. The criticism back then wasn't about his creativity. It was about his inability to evolve, to pivot, to adjust. Monken is supposed to be the fix. He was brought in to modernize the offense, maximize Lamar's passing ability, and make this unit less predictable. And early on, there were flashes. But now, it's starting to feel like Monken's trying to outsmart everyone instead of just doing what works. The overthinking is killing this team. You've got a future Hall of Fame-level running back in the backfield, and you're trying quarterback sneaks twice in a row with a quarterback returning from injury? That's not aggressive. That's not strategic. That's just bad football. And when the players walk off the field with that same "here we go again" look on their faces, it speaks volumes. You can tell when a team starts losing belief in the plan. You can sense when the locker room energy shifts from focused to frustrated. And here's where Harbaugh comes back into the equation. Because even if he's not calling the plays himself, he's the one who sets the tone. He's the one who oversees the staff. And when bad decisions keep stacking up, when confusion reigns on the sideline, when timeouts get burned because personnel isn't set or the call took too long, that's a head coach problem. That's leadership, or a lack of it. This team was built for more. You don't commit to Lamar Jackson long-term, sign Derrick Henry, pay your defensive stars, and bring in an offensive coordinator like Monken just to hover around mediocrity. The moves made this offseason screamed urgency. This was supposed to be the year the Ravens finally got over the hump. And now, 6 games in, fans are wondering if it's already too late. The reality is, the Ravens are quickly running out of room for error. With just 1 win to their name, they'd likely need to go on a near-perfect run to even sniff the playoffs. That's asking a lot, even with Lamar back under center. And if the Bears game ends in another collapse, it's hard to justify pushing forward like everything is fine. You can't keep kicking the can down the road and hoping things magically get better. At some point, decisions have to be made. Tough ones. You think about teams like the Eagles or the Rams who recognized when their windows were open and went all in. They didn't sit back. They didn't hold on to what was comfortable. They made bold decisions, coaching changes, trades, aggressive schemes, because they knew that standing still in the NFL is the same as going backward. If the Ravens want to be that kind of franchise, they need to act like it. There's also the mental side of this. When a team starts stacking losses, the pressure builds. Every game feels heavier. Every mistake is amplified. And when leadership isn't strong enough to keep the team steady through that storm, that's when seasons fall apart. That's when the locker room fractures. That's when players start doing more talking than tackling. That's the kind of vibe Baltimore can't afford right now. Lamar Jackson has done his part. He's taken hits. He's made plays. He's led comebacks. But even he can only do so much when the structure around him feels unstable. Quarterbacks thrive in environments that are built for success. Clear communication, smart coaching, consistent play calling. Right now, Baltimore isn't offering him that. And if they waste another year of his prime, the questions only get louder. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. Whispers are circulating in the NFL world, and this time, they involve none other than Mark Andrews of the Baltimore Ravens. The star tight end didn't hold back in a recent offhand comment that has quickly become the talk of locker rooms and social media alike. According to sources close to the team, Andrews expressed his unease about a possible return, stating bluntly, "I respect the history, but his comeback would be a step backwards." While he didn't name names, insiders are speculating wildly. Could it be a former Ravens legend? Someone who left a mark on the franchise, but whose return might disrupt the current chemistry? The comment alone has ignited a frenzy among fans, who are now divided between nostalgia and pragmatism. Social media is buzzing with debates, memes, and conspiracy theories, and every appearance by Andrews on the field is now scrutinized for hidden messages. Within the Ravens corridors, the remark reportedly sparked private discussions among coaches and front office executives. Some believe Andrews is signaling a shift toward a new era, one that prioritizes the current squad's momentum over sentimental reunions. Others wonder if the star tight end is trying to influence the front office indirectly, planting a subtle warning about potential roster decisions. Meanwhile, the speculation has fueled a broader conversation about the balance between honoring past heroes and pushing forward in today's NFL. Analysts on sports networks have seized on the comment, framing it as a microcosm of a league-wide tension, loyalty versus progress. Every rumored move, trade, or signing involving a returning veteran is now being dissected with a critical eye, as if Andrews' words were a blueprint for a new Ravens philosophy. Even teammates have chimed in anonymously, adding layers to the rumor. Some hint that the locker room is split. Part of the team excited at the possibility of a historic figure returning, another part quietly agreeing with Andrews' caution. Meanwhile, fans continue to speculate, with forums and podcasts endlessly debating who he really is and what his return could mean for the team's chances this season. One thing is certain, Mark Andrews' comment has lit a fire. Whether it turns out to be an accurate warning, a tactical nudge, or just the candid opinion of a star player, the rumor mill is in full swing. As the Ravens prepare for the upcoming games, everyone will be watching not just the scoreboard, but the subtle hints and whispers echoing through the stadium. One line, one comment, and suddenly the NFL offseason feels more like a dramatic saga than ever. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.